Hello everybody and welcome back to Squid Junction, hosted by Dapple Productions. My name is Riley, I'm still here with Lily, and we are moving in hot to winners round 4. Yes, 4. We will be seeing Half Send versus Can I Get yeah, you get it. So, people might be a little bit more familiar with Half Send. This seems to be a pickup group of sorts with essentially just, like, some of the best players in OCE right now. So you've got players like Shockwave and Leon right off the top. Meanwhile, Can I Get seems to be a pickup featuring mostly members of Centopia, who are an EU team who have been really kind of consistently high level right now. They recently won SOS, and they came in second place in the SAC season before last. But they have Kite subbing for them, so it'll be interesting to see them play here as we move into Hagglefish Tower Control.
Yeah, Hagglefish Tower Control, a great map mode combination. I gotta say, it looks like we're actually seeing a pretty standard comp on the side of Half Send, I believe, with the Inkjet Ballpoint, the Neo Splash. Actually, this is kind of interesting in both sides, I've seen.
Both teams kind of coming through with the ballpoint here.
Yeah.
It's kind of just a scrappy fight in mid at the moment, but mid control seems to be in favor of Can I Get and the Inksuka trying to make something happen here, but not really doing a whole lot. First Blood, it's just kind of a trade here at the moment, but Centopia, as I've decided to call them, is just kind of bleeding members at the moment. The push starts a little bit, but it seems to be kind of rough going, at least for, a little bit here. Shockwave holding at the back end, kind of force back a little bit, but they are providing jumps in for teammates as Bingo here on the Inkjets trying to move forward and make something. The Ink Strikes, though, are going to also do a good job of putting out a lot of pressure, and Centopia going through this getting to the first checkpoint here.
Yeah, it does look like they do manage to get that checkpoint. Two players have gone down on the side of Can I Get or as you say, Centopia. It looks like they are stacking just a little bit, and they're trying to move back just to stay safe here, as Half Send is going to be using this opportunity to retake some control of mid here and actually get a little bit of an advantage for themselves. But Centopia is still coming back in strong, getting the cooler out to give them the buffs they need, but they are going to get pressured a little bit. However, with Bingo here on the Inkjet looking for some picks, just trying to make sure that they have any flanks cleared away from them. Looks like they're really going to have to be playing very cautiously, looking all around them, just in case anyone from Half Send is going to be picking them up from behind. It does look like they are going to be attempting at least to get the tower back a little bit forward for them. They do still have the lead here though, but two players have gone down. This looks like Half Send is going to have to come back in with a push of their own soon.
Yeah, it seemed like Centopia was going to get another push-off, but Half Send did a good job of kind of stepping forward to defend that, and it seems like they will be pushing yet again. Centopia just lost their end zap, and it doesn't seem like they have much specials to combat it, but they do pop the Tri-Strikes right away, and they are very close to the Inkjet and Zipcaster. Inkjet, of course, very solid special right now. The Zipcaster has already come out, I believe. Kite's just kind of waiting for an opportunity to do something with it. Actually, no, I don't think they popped it at all yet, but whatever. Mid-control still quite split at the moment. Bingo here on the Inkjet. Jack is in a lot of trouble, but thankfully the Inkjet ended just in time. Everybody on Centopia is kind of coolered up at the moment, but they're just not really feeling comfortable with pushing up at all, so it's just kind of a missed opportunity, unfortunately.
Yeah, it almost feels like that for a little bit there. It's almost like they were just kind of like dipping their toes into mid, moving back, dipping their toes back once again, just to find exactly the right opportunity they want to be able to gain control there. These pushes are still pretty small, but with 3 down on Can I Get, this looks like Half Send is going to be trying to push it first, getting pressured as well by, I believe, the ballpoint coming out with the Inkjet as well. This looks like they're going to have to move back. That push might die right here, and they do lose the tower, but the Inkjet gets taken out.
Indeed,
and they keep going for it.
Yeah, it's just Yaru up here. They are in a pretty solid spot to spam bombs, but there's not so much they can do in terms of aggressing. They do take down Shockwave on the ballpoint, but that's not going to stop Half-Sen from taking lead. Not to mention you have Zen coming up here and getting a nice trade. It's just 2 down for Half-Sen, but still, that was a very solid push, and it's just a minute left in this game, which is more than enough time for Syntopia to turn this around, but still, that was very clutch coming through when they needed it.
Yeah, absolutely. It already looks like Syntopia is has pushed back Half-Sen at least. It's going to be difficult for Half-Sen to be able to move back with all this space that Can I Get is taking up at the moment. Tactical are coming out, of course. They are going to be pressuring that tower with the Trizuka, but you know, here comes the Inkjet. Still bit of a rough Inkjet spot, but they do manage to get a pick there, even though they were in such close proximity, in danger of being picked up themselves. This looks like a great response from Can I Get as they manage to get back all the way to the checkpoint with only 1 point difference between them at the moment. We could have seen that flip, but it looks like Half-Sen was ready to respond right there to stop anything from going further as we go towards the end of the game, getting that wipeout, and it looks like Half-Sen takes it at the very end. Wow.
Yeah, wow. That was a very solid push from Syntopia. I really thought that Bingo was going to die on that Inkjet, but they were able to turn it around. But indeed, Half-Sen just had a really solid response to it all. And, you know, that wipeout at the end really kind of sealed the fate there, unfortunately. I don't know what it is with Hagglefish today, and like super close games, but I mean, you know, it's only happened twice so far, so who's to say? I guess that's just the mark of a good map, you know? Speaking of good maps, Manta Maria. No. Manta Maria Clan Blitz.
Manta Maria, I don't know. Yeah, you know, I think it does depend on the mode sometimes, yeah, but Clan Blitz, pretty strong map mode here on Manta Maria, I gotta say. Definitely seen some very interesting games there. This is the most good Manta Maria mode there is, because it at least retains that block to get in from the left side of the map as well. You know, that beloved left side route, left side flank, to be able to get those power clams in from behind. Now, Manta Maria, I'm curious to see what they bring out here.
Most definitely. Not really expecting much kind of changes, since, you know, all around you had your kind of typical meta cores, and Kite pretty much one-tricks Octobrush. I don't expect to see them kind of switch off it. So yeah, I would not be really surprised at all if we don't see a single switch off for any, you know, player in this set, really. But yeah, the flank route really saves Manta Clams, and I just think it's kind of funny how the one map that never got played on Manta Maria in competitive is now like often considered its best map mode in this game. But anyway, we've got the roughly the same comp coming out from Syntopia here, and we see Jack go from the V-Shot, I believe in the previous game, to the T-Tech, so maybe I should just shut up about weapons and the like, but regardless, yeah, you're pretty standard meta comps all around here.
Not a huge difference between not too much of a difference, I believe, between V-Shot and T-Tech. I do find that T-Tech can possibly take aggressive fights a little bit more successfully with the Splat Bomb. Looks like we are going to be seeing a little bit of those Splat Bombs come out and actually pressuring them in mid. It looks like they are going to have to drop back. Bingo dropping back just to stay safe here, but you know, they do have 7 clams on their side. It looks like they do definitely have the clam economy going, and with that Inkjet on the go as well. This looks like they just need to clear out the street in order to make this push work, but with one player going down, it might not be the push opportunity they need, as Half-Sen manages to come back in strong, taking mid again, and taking 2 players down, 3 players down, and Can I Get with them?
Yeah, Kite, up on that mast area, was able to flank around and get a double, but unfortunately, it came at a great cost because they went 3 down. It was just Yaru left on the zap here. They are pushing forward, but I don't know if they know that Zen's on the wall, so that's going to be a pretty tough fight to take. But they will get a trade out of it at least. But Half-Sen's in a pretty solid position to push here, because you've got Shockwave here on this flank area. They've got a pretty good amount of clams, and there is a power waiting. Zen has an opening, or at least they thought they did, because, you know, Yaru and company were kind of holding off. We see the cooler come out. They're trying to get a push going. The Inkjet comes out. This could be huge here. But yes, they do have the opening now, so Halfsen's going to be busting this basket right open.
Yeah, the Inkjet definitely making sure the street was clear to push into here, but it looks like the Inkjet on the side of Centopia also coming out to try and at least stop them from getting too many clams in. 3 players have gone down on the side of Halfsen here. This looks like Can I Get a has successfully stopped that push from going too far. Now 65, not the biggest push, but better than nothing, of course. Looks like Centopia is still gonna have to fight from here. They're doing pretty good in terms of mid control, getting pressured out by bombs and by those tri-strikes as well, and by a crab. It looks like this is going to be still the fight in mid, which they're going to have to get through before they can make a push themselves.
Yes, very true. Bingo's defensive Inkjet during that push came up really huge. I believe they got a double out of it just now. But at the same time, Halfsen has a lot of clams at the moment, and they have the cooler, they have mid-control, they have the aggression up front, and kind of the man advantage. So they're in a solid position to get a push going, but unfortunately they're just kind of forced to back off here as they go one down. Bingo came through with the Inkjet. Kite forced to back up, and just like that, it seems like Halfsen is in the driver's seat yet again with 2 down on the side of Centopia. Make that 3 down now. Shockwave Inkjet, really good.
Great pick, especially on their bunker there. Looks like with 2 players down, still they managed to break the checkpoint. Sorry, not the checkpoint, the basket once again, and getting some great picks over in Centopia's court here as well, just holding them back as far as they can as the score keeps on going down. It looks like Halfsen is making a great push here, but Centopia getting some picks, trying to fight together to try and prevent this, but with 2 players down, it looks like 3 players down actually on Centopia. It looks like they're going to be trying to come back as safely as they can here, but this is going to be definitely tricky for them. Getting a great pick actually with that jump, surprisingly being completely safe for them.
Halfsen, yeah, they were just so in control of all that. They had all the clams, passing them off to the teammate, then the crab tank, then just, you know, getting more picks on top of that. Just, you know, very well played, super... Yeah, like, that was a lot of coordination coming out there. But regardless, 30 seconds left in this game. There's not many clams for Centopia right now, and they just kind of keep going down one by one at unfortunate times, so it's just like Halfsen just always has the advantage. We see the splash for Centopia coming around behind. Shockwave does see it and call it out, though, and it's not clear if they'll be able to accomplish anything. Unfortunately, they do go down. Bingo here is in a solid defensive position, but it doesn't really matter because they don't have that many clams left. Just 10 seconds left in the game, and they go down to Zen yet again. That's going to be Halfsen taking game 2. There's really no way around it. They do have the pity clam, though, so, you know, they could pull something off here, but I don't know.
Yeah, it feels pretty dire at the moment with not much paint in mid, and trying to be able to at least move into the street. You're going to have to coordinate that really well, and it's going to take longer than the few precious seconds you have in overtime here to be able to do anything about it, and you know what, that's going to be game Halfsen taking the set from Centopia here.
Yeah, really nothing else that can be said about that one. Halfsen was just so coordinated and in control throughout the whole, like, latter half of that game. There were some really huge pushes coming out of there that, you know, were as a result of, like... Okay, to go back to the example of, like, Zen throwing clams to the teammate and then popping crab tank. That's a really good thing to do to, you know, keep momentum up because, you know, you might have the special out, but you're not getting points, and therefore you're not in control for longer. So, you know, I just think that was really cool to see. But yeah, Centopia now has to pull off the reverse sweep here. And we're going back to Barnacle and Dime splat zones, which, as we've established, can be pretty lockout heavy, so,
I did misspeak before. I did say I think the set went to half cent, but this is a best of 5. I'll just correct myself here. And also thank you for reminding that, you know, Centopia can still get the reverse sweep here if they manage to take what they have learnt from what half cent has been able to do in those first 2 games. We may be able to see an interesting response in these next 3 should they pull off this reverse sweep. And you know what? I believe anything is possible here.
Oh, certainly. Just last Squid Junction, we saw some pretty insane kind of comebacks and set turnarounds and the like. Again, not really expecting much of a comp change, but I think they'll definitely have to come through with kind of a mindset or like a strategy change if they want to pull through here, because I don't know, I just feel like Half Send was kind of playing on a different level, at least in that previous game. But, you know, again, I think if Centopia can just get into a good lockout here and not falter under the pressure, they could step away from this one. But yes, it is match point in favor of Half Send, though, so you know, they've got to be feeling pretty comfortable, too. It's just a matter of who can come through here. And Yaru coming to the 96 Deco, which, you know, again, I'm a fan of this weapon. It just is what it is. But Half Send coming through with the exact same comp as we've been seeing.
Yeah, I do think, as you mentioned, the 96 Deco, even though it's not, like, the special doesn't really paint the zone or anything, when you do have your front line going, it can be great to help out with getting picks, causing a distraction that they need. Looks like 2 plays, 3 plays have already gone down on Centopia here. Half Cent already setting up a really good front line for themselves to be able to set up that lockout to keep those points going down in their favor. They have the tactical online whenever they need it as well. 3 specials. This is looks like the tactical that comes out here, actually.
It's right up there to Bingo and the splash on the top left side as well. Kind of crazy. But yeah, just already past 50 here, not even a minute left in the game, but that's 3 down on Half Send. I think what happened was they got a bomb on somebody, and they also got the Inkjet recall with it too. So now this is time for Centopia to kind of, you know, push up here. We saw one of the members
kind of,
you know, farm for special and the Zipcaster, but yeah, seems like Half Send is trying to get a response together. They are slowly but surely getting their specials. This Tacticooler comes out. Let's see how they kind of respond to all this.
Yeah, it did look like that Centopia was coming just a little bit more slowly than Half Cent, making sure that their specials were there to help them push in. It does look like the score could potentially go in the favor of Centopia here at this point, as they keep control of this zone pretty well. We're seeing the Kraken come out, causing that distraction as well, just like moving them away from the zone just a little bit, and the other fights in the game here. These scores keep ticking down. They've got 3 down on the side of wow, okay, these last few seconds looks like this is going to be their game, actually. As you said, you know, this could be the beginning of a reverse sweep, and, you know, being able to get them into that lockout, actually playing pretty patiently as well throughout that game, I think definitely worked in favor of Centopia, knowing which fights to take, when to really pop that Kraken to get the best use out of it, I think was really great to help them just, like, continually get those points down, get that lead, and ultimately get the knockout.
Yeah, most definitely. They were not really pushing forward, but they were still just able to kind of keep Half Send away from zone, and I think that certainly helped out a lot. Kite also got like a clutch trade at the end there, and I believe they may or may not have gotten a triple, actually. It was kind of hard to tell for various reasons. But yeah, it was just the ballpoint left alive, and, you know, ballpoint's super strong, but it's unclear how well it can, like, 1v4 them. So, you know, they really got the picks they needed when they needed them. Not to take anything away from Half Send, because, you know, their special usage was still, like, on point, but unfortunately they just kind of maybe got too comfortable and dropped the ball a little bit. But yeah, Centopia, love to see them showing signs of life here. And we are moving to Tower Inkblot, which, you know, I've already kind of said my piece on that one, but yeah, definitely a map to kind of test the mettle of your team, so to speak.
Definitely. I'm curious to see perhaps some Zipcaster brush or something. I find that I've seen games here where Zipcaster has been used extraordinarily well. And if these teams are playing to cause that distraction, to cause that, like, cause the other team to just like move their attention away from the tower, move their attention away from an important fight that they need to really be aware of. And you know, Zipcaster can be pretty strong here in terms of really clearing out, cleaning up, or even like making a mess up in those bats as well, I find. So I'm curious to see if anyone chooses to bring that out here. We have seen Octobrush in the first game, but you know, this might be a case of commentator's curse. I might just be talking out. Okay, it looks like we do see the the Octobrush after all. So this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, Kite I definitely know to be an Octobrush one trick, but I definitely agree. So, for one, you know, Suction Bomb tower control, never not a good thing to have. But also, yeah, this is a really good map for Zipcaster. And honestly, it's kind of a funny thing. I feel like a lot of these Splatoon 2 maps in this game are pretty good for Zipcaster. Kind of just unintentionally funny there. But yeah, mid-control, pretty split here. I believe we already have the Kraken coming out. Also, Garyu sticking with the 96 Deco is pretty cool. First Blood goes in favor of Syntopia here. They're in a pretty solid position to push up here. Bingo, Inkjet ending probably a little sooner than you might like, but, you know, still looking pretty good here. Trizuka comes out, Inkjet comes out, Yari's forced to back up. Jack waiting on the Shark, waiting for someone to overextend, waiting for Zen to come off behind them as well. Very well played to make sure that you have the advantage. I don't know. I think both teams are just kind of waiting for the right moment to strike right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We did see actually Jack coming up and taking control over the stack over here, making sure also that there are some tacticals there for them to work with, but it looks like we're seeing the Kraken come out looking for a pick, looking to cause a bit of a distraction, a bit of chaos here to take those stacks back away from them. They looks like those Trizuka is going to be getting a pick on the Octobrush right there. So this is going to be a difficult push, I think, for Can I Get if their crab goes down at any point. But they're going to be working through this checkpoint very slowly. They do have 3 players right up at them on the side of Half Send to stop that, however, and it looks like Half Send's already working to regain control of mid at this point. But if they manage to watch out for those flanks, watch out for those burst bombs, hopefully they can actually keep this control up.
Yeah, that was a really solid flank from the Splash player. Yeah, like, even if it didn't get any picks out of it, it successfully kind of threw Half Send off their game for a second and kind of suspended that push. And it allowed Garyu to come in and, you know, allowed Kraken to wreak some havoc. But yeah, like, even if their push didn't last long, they were in a 2v4 scenario. Syntopia was able to get the checkpoint, and kind of ultimately that's what matters most. But unfortunately, Half Send is now at that checkpoint too. They're all coolered up. They're backed away from tower quite a bit, but still not really a position you want to be in. They've got 3 players kind of stacked on top of each other here. And Zen coming through with the crab tank. Kite is really thirsting for that kill. And are they able to get it? It will result in a trade, so yeah. Good job at kind of ending that push here, but still things are looking kind of shaky, because that was 2 down on the side of Syntopia for just a minute there. We can see if Bingo can, you know, get a pick, but Shockwave popping Inkjet to avoid it, getting a nice pick on the Octobrush. They're back at the checkpoint yet again. Is Bingo able to stop it at all? Yes, because it was 2 down.
Yeah, it does look like they do manage to stop that, and with Syntopia, I believe, still in the lead. Moving up to get control of mid once again. They still want to make sure that they have that crab out on the stack in order to give that opening for them to hold back like that area over on the other team's plat. But it looks like they do need someone on the tower in order to make any of that work for them.
Yeah, that was a very huge pick from Lufra on the Splash. Sorry to mispronounce that, by the way. But yeah, Bingo's Inkjet yet again coming through here. Like, they're 2 down, but they're not stopping pushing. Just over a minute into this game, and it's kind of funny how we've only gotten to 58 thus far. But yeah, that's 2 down on Syntopia here, so now it's time for Half Send to respond. They've got to wait for everyone to come... Like, they're not waiting for everyone to get back online, but they do have solid mid-control. It's just a matter of can Syntopia get some specials fast enough. But Lufra on the flank yet again, doing what they did best before and disorienting the members of Half Send here. Just a minute left in this game. Yaru's Kraken doing a good job of stopping that yet again. It's a 3v3 scenario now. Jack pops the Trizuka. Zen goes down. They have the Inkjet and the Zipcaster on the side of Syntopia here. Jack not letting up on this aggression, even though they're under quite a lot of fire. Bingo pops the Inkjet. Just, it's a real bloodbath right now. Syntopia has really stepped up their defense game.
And we're seeing Kite here looking for a pick. The Zipcaster ending right there, unfortunately, without getting one at that moment. It looks like 3 plates have gone down inside of Half-Send. This could be Syntopia holding this for the last few seconds to really secure that lead that they already have. But it looks like, I believe, Half-Send actually manages to get on very briefly, almost taking it into overtime. But Syntopia manages to get on at the very last second, cancelling the overtime before even a second of that was up.
Yeah, that was Yaru's Kraken getting a clutch pick, and unfortunately Shockwave was stuck in Inkjet, so the members of Syntopia, fist bump, love to see it, Syntopia were able to just kind of slip through and get tower, because, you know, can't really be on tower and in the air at the same time, kind of unfortunate. So, yeah, very well played from Syntopia there on all fronts, especially like their defense. They very easily could have staggered there, but they didn't, and that's commendable. So now, Half-Send is staring down the barrel of a reverse sweep, and they've got to go through Rainmaker Sturgeon. Now, you gotta remember, this is a team of Australian players, and you never want to fight Australia in Rainmaker. But,
yeah,
you know, at the same time, Syntopia's got to be feeling pretty good too.
Absolutely. Now, this is going to be very interesting for both teams, I think. Sturgeon Shipyard, you were saying that, you know, the Splatoon 2 maps seem to be the good Zipcaster ones, and I think that is true for this one as well. And I believe also that in terms of the map geometry, I think it just comes down to how much of the verticality you can really make work in your favor, you know, because you don't want to be dropped on by a Zipcaster. You don't want to know that you have to look up into the air to watch a Zipcaster either, because that's going to be obscuring your vision of the map. It's going to be taking away from where you really want to be looking. And these teams playing for the distraction, I think, have been working pretty well as well. So here we are going into the game. Octobrush once again, love to see, and also the 96 deco as well. Let's see how this plays out.
You know, I'm kind of disappointed that we're not seeing any splooshes from Half-Send. If you know, you know. But yeah, no real comp change aside from, well, arguably Jack. I mean, they were on B-Shot last time, but yeah, no comp changes. 96 deco coming through as well. It's a 3v3 right now. Mid control is pretty solidly in favor of Half-Send, and they will get the first push off. Jack seems to want to take it on the spinner, but they are getting forced back a bit. Kite kind of in a precarious spot. Yaru not really in a spot where they can get much done. They do pop the Kraken though. Are they able to do something about it? They are on the flank here, so that is one. That's 3 down. And it's just Shockwave forced to back up. So that's going to be Syntopia getting a good push right off the bat, most likely.
That was a fantastic move from Syntopia there, and I have to say, I think the Kraken coming out at least to stop Half-Send from being able to take the left side push there, I think was pretty good, pretty solid choice, and actually able to get those picks as well to get all those players down. It looks like the Half-Send is actually going to be taking control over Syntopia's court as much as they can to try and hold this lead that they've got of only 10 points, but this crab is getting pressured quite a bit here. Looks like that crab does get shredded. It's a 2v2 at the moment, and Half-Send getting that pop once again. They still have quite a lot of control here, but Syntopia is going to have to work together to be able to push them out and to slowly move back into mid once this Rainmaker resets. Actually, they picked it up.
Yeah, Lufra on the splash just got a clutch double here, so that was really good for keeping kind of Syntopia in the driver's seat here, so to speak. They do have a solid opportunity to push here. Yaru's Kraken kind of, unfortunately, not able to get much done. They might have to take it around the right side if they want to get some points on the board. Nice pick with the crab as well. Shockwave just kind of waiting on the side, waiting for that Inkjet. They do... Okay, they are taking it on the right side, and the members of Half-Send aren't really in a position to do anything about it. They don't quite get the checkpoint, but still, that is lead. They are kind of in that good spot, and I'm noticing that it's like, they just went 2 down, but consistently, they've been not letting up on the aggression even in the 2v4s, and it works for them. So, hats off to that. Mid control is still in favor of Centopia here. They are in a 3v3. The Trizuka does come out, which threatens Bingo a bit, but, still, mid control has shifted into favor of Centopia. Yaru and Kite doing a good job of keeping up the aggression. They are 2 down, though, but, who's to say?
Yeah, the thing is about Centopia is if they start going down, this is Half Send going to be playing as quickly as they can and as aggressively as they can to really set up their front line, to really set up their positions again, which is what I believe we're seeing here as they pick up the Rainmaker. 2 players have gone down on the side of Centopia, only 1 down that shot on the side of Half Send as well, but they are still going to be holding this Rainmaker, playing patiently, waiting for the right moment to get this checkpoint. It looks like they are going to be getting it right here. And it's going to be, I think, pretty close. All things considered, it looks like they can actually move and get some more points for themselves. And taking lead right there with 3 players going down as they do it.
Yeah, it's just Shockwave left alive here. The Inkjet just kind of, not really to fight much, but basically just to annoy Yaru there on the 96. It's like, yeah, you thought you were going to kill me, but yeah, think again. But yeah, that's still not that much of a big push to take lead here. Lufra and Yaru are still kind of holding up the aggression here. Mid control is solidly in favor of Half Send, but, the Kraken here, clutch picks, more than a minute left in this game. I don't know, I still think this could go either way, but that's 2 down on the side of Half Send, and Centopia has a solid shot here to move forward. They just have to not feed this ball point.
Absolutely, and what Centopia must be thinking right now is that they have less than a minute to win this set if they wanna take away this set and move on. This is going to be a very, very tricky situation to be able to get this lead. They do get wiped out. Looks like Half Send is going to be in these last 30 seconds moving back in to try and hold this Rainmaker, not necessarily even pick it up, but just to make sure that if anyone from Centopia tries to force their way in, they just can't get that Rainmaker, which is what they're doing in this last 20 seconds. The Rainmaker does reset. Centopia is going to have to find an opportunity to move back in, but with Half Send pressuring, actually cancelling that grab as well, it looks like they're not being able to do much here in these last few seconds. If anyone can pick up the Rainmaker at this moment, they might be able to trigger it into overtime, but it looks like with Shockwave's Inkjet coming out and getting that pick as well, that is going to be game, and that's going to be set as well.
Okay, that was super unfortunate because Discord kind of crapped out on me, so I couldn't really see how that all unfolded. But yeah, that was a very close game on the whole. But it really seemed like Centopia was about to pull through here, but unfortunately they just, the cards didn't really fall right as they needed them. But still, good job to Half Send for staving off the reverse sweep, because I imagine both teams were freaking out in PC.
Oh really. Yeah, absolutely. That last minute of that Rainmaker game, I was just thinking, this is probably one of the most this is probably the tensest moment of this set, where it could go either way, and it really could have gone either way with the scores that close in Rainmaker, because you just need a fast push of a second or two to be able to take those 10 or so points off of the other team into a lead. If you go for a little bit of a death push or something, you can perhaps pull it off, but with the way these teams are playing together, actually fantastic that that threat of a reverse sweep was there for Half Send, but Half Send coming in that final game, winning that game that could really have gone either way. Hats off to them. Hats off to both teams. This was a really, really fantastic set to watch.
Indeed. It would not surprise me if this is one of the best sets that we end up seeing tonight. So, very well played to both teams. But yes, that will be it for Winners Round 4. So I believe we will be heading to another break here momentarily. So, thank you for watching thus far. Don't go away. There's plenty of more great sets to come.